First officer's log. Which Star Trek first officer is the best first officer? Hi! Live long and prosper. I'm Jason Inman.
I am Ashley Victoria Robinson.
Yes, and we are here to debate and talk about all your fan questions, especially the fan questions that come from our Patreon, patreon.com/Jawiin. All your support. So awesome, so great. We love it so much. We can hear it through the interstellar winds. That's what we're here to answer. We're here to answer your questions because we have a question today from who, Ashley?
JAKE HEFNER!
JAKE Hefner, who supports us over at patreon.com/Jawiin. There's a link down in the description if you want to do so. And if you give us a question, we'll answer your question over there. Just go do it. JAKE Hefner asked us, what's this question, Ashley?
It is, who is the best Star Trek first officer?
Best Star Trek first officer.
Jake must know us because we have discussed the best captain in so many times.
Well, and we've also, there's Star Trek figures on the set. There's Captain
Mostly
Archer right behind
there,
us.
too.
We have made a Star Trek web series. We love Star Trek is my love. I love Star Trek so much. It's about a bunch of officers. Speaking about something that's about a bunch of officers, my book Super Soldiers is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, all those kind of things. Look how thick it is. Whoop. Okay, plug over. Ashley, I'm gonna tell you how much I love Star Trek.
Okay.
You wanna know how much I love Star Trek?
How much?
I love Star Trek so much that I'm gonna run off camera and grab Star Trek things. Here we go.
Oh, bye. Do. I love Star Trek so much that Jason and I made a 31-episode Star Trek parody web series that you can watch here on this channel in the playlist The Red Shirt Diaries. In fact,
It's very
Jason
awkward.
plays maybe 15 different characters in
Fun
it.
fact: I play Riker, First Officer. So this is a metal Enterprise. This is my favorite. This is one of my oldest toys. It saucer separates. But I'm gonna wear this. This is on my desk. This is my favorite comm badge. It's right here. I don't have the other
There's
one.
at least 6 other Star Trek things on Jason's desk.
There's so many Star Trek things.
Right
Anyways,
now.
Star Trek first officers. The first officer is the executive officer, the person who, yeah, I make that noise, who, helps out the captains.
Second in command.
So we have, let's run down the list here. We have Spock
Yes.
from the original series.
Yes.
We have Commander William T. Riker, my space dad,
Jason's space dad.
Star Trek Connection. We have, guys, we just love talking about Star Trek. So
Strap in, baby.
Jake Hefner, who asked this question, this is literal catnip for us. This is human nip for us.
This is a preview of what we talk about in the car a lot.
Yeah. So we have Kira Nerys from Deep Space Nine.
yeah.
We have Chakotay from Voyager. We have T'Pol from Enterprise. And in season 1, it's Saru in Discovery, and then it's also Saru in season 2. So, it's a Pike.
It's so interesting to hear all those characters read together because
All the first officers.
I love all the first officers.
They're all good.
I don't love all the captains.
Oh.
I love all the first officers. I think they're all great, and I think they are universally some of the best characters. If I were ever fortunate enough to be cast in a Star Trek show, I would want to play the first officer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Star Trek, one of the things that Star Trek does not suffer for is a lack of great characters.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's so many good crews. Ashley, is there, for me, we have to talk about this because this definitely skews our debate. There is a character on this list that is so impactful to pop culture, that has changed television writing, that has changed television production, that I almost wonder, do we need to concede that yes, it is a he, there's only one woman on this list, two, excuse me. Do we have to concede that he's automatically number 1, and then we're going to talk about number 2? And of course, I am talking about your favorite Star Trek character of all time. Reveal him.
Spock!
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It's Spock.
Yeah.
This is the Robin discussion, sort of redux. Yeah.
Played by the amazing and astounding and late Leonard
all
Nimoy.
of our grandfathers. Leonard Nimoy, the amazing. Yes.
Is he automatically number 1?
I think he has to be.
I think so too.
Yeah. We all know why.
Well,
I think we've also talked this to death.
Not only is he quite possibly the greatest Star Trek character of all time. There is an argument to be made. Now, I would argue for a couple other characters, but there is an argument for him that he's automatically like the greatest Star Trek character of all time.
I would put him as the greatest. Yes.
But he has transcended culture so much.
I mean, how many even really lowbrow action movies, which doesn't mean they're bad movies, make it like, oh, come on, Mr. Spock.
Yep.
Like, it's a joke.
Everybody knows. I feel there's there's 4 things that everybody in the world knows about Star Trek.
Kirk and Spock.
I was going to say Kirk, Spock.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Captain Kirk.
Beam me up,
That's right.
Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. What's the 4th thing?
What's the 4th one?
The USS Enterprise.
Oh, sure.
You know,
yeah.
everybody knows the shape of the Enterprise. Everybody knows the name Enterprise. The Enterprise is iconic.
Yeah.
Like, we know those 4 things. And just the idea that one of these first officers is in that 4, I think automatically puts them at number 1. Okay, so...
I also, not to plug Red Shirt Diaries one more time, the
dear
red
Lord.
shirts as a joke, I think...
I'm going to leave a comment. How many times do you guys have to plug stuff? I get so tired when you guys sell your own stuff.
Well, what else are we supposed to sell?
I don't know.
I think red shirts might be the 5th thing to round out your list of. The joke about red shirts always dying.
Oh, for a second there, I thought you were making the argument that Red Shirt Diaries is the 5th thing, and I was like, that's pretty arrogant. Woo!
It's a really great series.
Manage your expectations.
Yeah, truly.
Actually, we're going to put a link to the Red Shirt Diaries, the entire playlist right below this.
Great.
So if you can check it out if you want. Okay, so Spock is number 1.
Spock is number 1.
So that leaves, in a brouhaha for the end, Commander Riker, Colonel Nerys, Commander Chakotay, Sub-Commander, she's Sub-Commander, T'Pol, and Commander Saru.
Mm-hmm.
So, out of those 5, who's second place?
For me, it's Kira.
Okay, interesting.
Kira Nerys.
Now, I am going to make a statement. I'm going to see if this changes your argument or not.
Okay.
The question is, best first officer.
She's not a member of Starfleet.
No. I'm fine with that
Okay.
because she's part of the Bajoran militia and she actually does join Starfleet towards the end. But not best character. Talking about best first officer.
I mean, this is the argument that we always have when we make lists, right? Like, is it objective or is it your opinion?
Because it weirdly, okay, now here's the thing. Spock is number 1 on both those lists. Of these characters, best character, number 1, best first officer, number 1. So who's number 2?
That's a fair
Now, and I say this as somebody who loves Kira Nerys and thinks that Nana Visitor's performance as Kira Nerys is one of the greatest performances in Star Trek.
The nicest thing people have ever compared me to is Kira Nerys.
Oh, no.
When people tell me I look like her. I think Kira is the best, most well-developed, most interesting character. Although with you bringing up like who functions in the role of first officer the best, which I think is a fair debate, I think it's between Riker and Saru.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say it's between Riker and T'Pol.
T'Pol takes a minute to come around to it.
Sure,
though.
but when she does, she's
very good at it.
She's there.
I guess I pick Riker and Saru because they are very by the book.
Mm-hmm.
They do have moments where they stray and where they do abstract things. Like Riker has this real Kirk.
Riker is very Kirk.
Moment. But Kirk and TOS, as you were fond of bringing up, is a very by the book kind of dude. Like Riker is so good that if he hadn't been the supporting character on a TV show, he would have been the youngest captain in Starfleet.
I'm going to say this. I think the first role of a first officer is to support the captain. And by supporting the captain, that means that at any moment, and this happens in Star Trek all the time, the captain will get kidnapped by aliens, grabbed by a giant green hand,
or willingly go with the aliens,
just leaves in a shuttle for no damn reason to go to Risa. And your first officer needs to be sitting in that chair and not even lose one beat of authority. Now, of our list that is left, there are very few of those that can do that. Yeah, Chakotay was a leader of the Maquis, but he never felt as commanding as Janeway. And Saru, I do think, should be captain now.
I agree.
But he's always overshadowed by Michael Burnham, so we don't get to see him to shine.
Yeah.
Riker is so damn good as captain that I have said this statement several times, and I don't know if I've ever said it on YouTube, is that in the best of both worlds, when Picard turns into Locutus and he was taken away, Michael Piller, the showrunner of the show, did that because he thought Patrick Stewart's contract was up at the time. And they were unsure
if he was coming
back. So they set up the show to be Captain Riker. Now, I love that we got 4 more seasons with Patrick Stewart. But I'm going to say this. The show would have still worked with Captain Riker. It would have still worked.
I'm glad that we got the show that we got, but I am sad that we didn't get one season of Captain Riker.
I know, right?
Or one mini-series of Captain Riker.
And because of the fact that we're saying that, to me, that makes him automatic number 2.
That's fair.
You know, and again, now T'Pol, the other reason why I give T'Pol high status is because Archer and T'Pol don't like each other.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the ship. She thinks humans smell bad. All kinds of stuff like that. But by the time we get to season 3, Archer trusts her with the ship.
She would die for him.
And she would die for the ship. She would die for a human ship. And she's just as good a captain as Archer is. And I think it's interesting. Now, Kira, I think, gets there, but it takes her almost until like the last 10 episodes.
And that's perhaps because
Deep Space
she's
Nine.
the most complex character of the bunch.
And again, going back to the argument, if we're talking about best character, Kira Nerys, number 2, automatically.
Yeah.
Automatically. But best first officer, again, the fact that you and I were both like, you know, a Captain Riker show that would have been pretty good, I think he's automatic number 2.
Okay, that's fair.
But Kira is easily number 3. Actually, I don't know. 3 might be a tie for me between Kira and T'Pol.
I agree. I like them both a lot.
And then it goes Chakotay Saru.
Right, and I'm gonna be honest. I think the quality level below the ladies to I think it's a pretty big jump. And I like Chakotay. I think he's had some great scenes.
Chakotay's a character that they
and Saru just make.
Saru needs to be captain. That's the thing about Discovery. Saru needs to be captain.
Give Doug Jones a pay bump.
Yep. And I hope he is. Because they can't bring any other guest stars in.
Yeah.
So hopefully. Although at the same time, like they'll bring in some weird, here comes in Mahershala Ali as alien captain number 4. Here you go. Here's the
That'd be
captain
great.
seat.
I also don't want to see any comments about us not talking about Rebecca Romaine as a first officer.
Oh.
No. Or Majel Barrett.
I would give it to Majel Barrett over Rebecca Romaine because as somebody who watched Star Trek Discovery Season 2, we actually get to spend more time with Majel Barrett as number 1 because we get an entire episode with her, whereas Rebecca Romaine is little snippets in like 2 or 3 episodes. We actually get a full episode with Rebecca. Now, a lot of people will be like, wow, but we were on the Enterprise for the finale of Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Yeah, we were only on the Enterprise for half the episode. The whole episode wasn't about the Enterprise. The Cage, all about the Enterprise. Who's on that bridge? Majel Barrett.
She's great in it, too.
She's the original number 1.
Yep.
But they would be the last 2. Like, I would even put both of them under Saru. We don't know them.
Yeah, they're not real characters. Unfortunately, playing the same woman, still not a real character.
Again, give me that Captain Pike series any time of the day.
Great.
All that kinds of things. So, yes. Anyways, Spock, Riker, all that thing. Ashley, who asked this question again?
Jake Hefner.
Oh yeah, Jake Hefner. I forgot to give him like a little funny job. Jake Hefner, he is the best person to ever clean out deuterium on deck 6.
Wow, that's impressive.
Not deck 7. That's Neelix. Because I don't want him on my show. I give him a mop and I send him downstairs and I say, get on my face, Neelix. Get on my face. Oh, that means the video's over. So thanks for watching. If you want to ask a question just like Jake Hefner, go to patreon.com/Jawiin. Join the Mind University, support these videos, and ask your question. Maybe we'll ask in one of these videos. Bye-bye, super friends.